Oshio, I saw something, and today on in YouTube, and it just got me to thinking. Maybe, just think of this as maybe a little bit of room to think, to something to consider. Okay, is now I know that we're all subject to failures, and not one of us is better than the other one. And when we do sin, one sin is not worse than the other one, even though we tend to have this little thing where we measure sin, one bigger sin than the other, or one worse sin than the other. But in God's eyes, sin is sin. I don't care how you address it. When you're a holy God, but you're not, and I'm not, but when you have a holy God, should I say, when he sees sin, sin is sin. It's just sin, okay? Now, if you fall and make a mistake, well, you got to correct it. And if you sin against, especially against not only God, but against your brothers and sisters, well, you must not only confess it to God, but to your brothers and sisters and ask for forgiveness. And this is true. Okay, but here's the thing. Now, usually when you do it personally, when it's one-on-one or something, and I'm talking about, in other words, not online, all right, what you usually do is you go privately to that individual, even if you have to go to each one that you have done wrong and confess that and ask for forgiveness. And if it was in a church, well, you have the whole people, the ones who are all done wrong and such, and the pastor and all of them, they're all, and you confess the deed. Okay. But the problem is now, like when you're dealing on YouTube, now here's the thing. Yes, if you did wrong, yes, you should confess the wrong you did, but it's not very wise to do so when you've got the enemies of the cross of Jesus watching, especially your enemies, because if they're enemy of a cross, they're your enemies, okay? It's not very good to do so, because see, people are watching your life, and even though a brother and sister in Christ can forgive you, others are not so forgiving and so merciful. And so this is a bit of advice. If you ever mess up, no matter what it is, that's why you got private messages or Skype or telephone calls and emails and such. That's the best way to handle this, not publicly on YouTube where the whole world sees it. Like when you leave a comment on someone's video confessing your sin, that's not really cool. You are, even though your intention is well, people is watching that, and they're watching you, and they just love it when you make mistakes. Because hey, that's why Jerry Springer shows and those type of things, that's why people love those. They love the dirt and the filth and the trash, and they love your trash, and and it's amazing. These same people will ridicule someone who go around and dig and make fun of people who dig in garbage to find their stuff, those who are homeless, etc., etc. But yet they love people's trash, You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. So this is just a bit of advice. Some of you already know this, and there's a lot who don't really know. So if you confess something, okay, I want to tell you something. If you confessed it already publicly where the whole world sees it, all right, you've hurt your testimony even worse, and you're not helping the situation. That is only for between you and the ones you sinned against, and you should do it privately, not for the world, amongst the unbelievers, okay? that's what I'm trying to get at. It's not for the unbelievers, all right? It's not for them. You're addressing the believers, and hey, you got unbelievers on YouTube, and boy, it's like a variety store, and you don't want that kind of stuff in your life. So I hope maybe this will help. Okay, it's just a little bit of advice, something to think about. Okay, shalom, and God bless you. I hope.